So we're going to start in a meditation. So get yourself comfortable. And take a couple of breaths, close your eyes, get used to the space. You know, we're in a whole new world of technology here, and I did a couple of trial runs of this and noticed that in some ways this is even more intimate than in class because you can see me. And a lot of times, more often, we're setting different parts of the room, and in this one you can just see me right up close. Most of the time you can have really good visual. So I think that that's going to change things a lot and give you a more intimate experience than you'd think. And so we were all commenting on that the other day when we tried it. So close your eyes and get used to the space. And just feel yourself come into the room where you are and balance yourself to the room where you are. And also balance yourself with each other. So there's a lot of people here and everybody's in different spaces all spread around, all different places around the United States and beyond. And just kind of sense heart to heart all these kindred souls and yoga family, spiritual family. And you can kind of just sense all these connections of light and love between each other. I feel you. And just let your breath start to get deeper, breathing in and out through your nose. And let your breath condition the body. Breathing gently in and out through the nose. Letting yourself quiet from all that's been happening over these last months. The whole world is in the ashram. We're all in our ashram. And it's a time, an opportunity to look at ourselves, to review ourselves. And what we're talking about all of this in December, and the solstice, and the full moons. What we're talking about all of this. How much was coming. And here we are in a whole new world. And when we come out the other side, it's going to be different. And this can be a gift. And we say prayers for the ones that are struggling with this in whatever ways. And we send light. And we also have gratitude, right? For where we are, in our beautiful places where we are. And just breathing in right now, gratitude. Right? And breathing out gratitude. Breathing in gratitude. Breathing out gratitude. And just think of anything that you feel grateful for. And there may be things that you're not grateful for right now, right? But still, what are you grateful for? Because everything is different right now. And we do get to look at all of this and be different to it. Reprioritize, reorganize what matters, what's important, reevaluate. And really, to me, of course, because I always talk about it, is it's always about love. To re-love. To love more, to love deeper. Yourself, it, the world, the life. Breathing in, gratitude. Breathing out, gratitude. And just feeling more and more. Your heart opening. My heart is opening. And all is well in this moment. And let that feeling of peace, prevailing peace, swell within you and open your heart even more. Letting yourself be open for this experience, this meditation, this yoga. And just notice if there's tension in your shoulders and your neck, and there could be, and there probably is, because it's been building up for weeks now, months now. And just feel like by the end of this experience today, that you will feel free and renewed and realigned, and make that intention for this to be. So in the silence of your meditation, make an intention for this meditation. I want to feel better. I want to remember who I am. I want to encourage more heart, more love in me and everyone around me. I want to be well. Whatever that intention is, just set it, plant it, place it, and breathe it. Inside the gratitude. Inside the gratitude. Breathing. And just take a moment in silence to hold your intention gently. Good. Good. And when you're ready to, letting your breath get deeper and fuller. Until it starts to feel natural to transition out of this meditation. Good. So I'm so happy to see everybody. So good to see you. So happy you're all here. We're going to go easy today, of course. It's been a while for a lot of you, I know. And it might be a month or two since you've done yoga. And some of you I know are doing your yoga every day. But we're still going to go slow. Because, you know why? It's a whole different approach this way than in a live class. And we discovered that ourselves when we were trying it out before. In a funny way, you can be more sensitive to yourself than you usually are. And so you can move more subtly, and you can be more aware of how you're moving, because it's just you. And all that aspect, even though it might be in the background, you don't even notice it. You can't help it sometimes when you feel somebody next to you kind of doing it differently than you, or better, or less, or something, right? And to not compare yourself to that. So there's no comparison, and this is getting closer to the real meaning of yoga anyway, to really just feel where you are with things, okay? So we're just going to use today our mats and blankets and straps, kind of normal things. Next week, we're going to use a chair. So just think of that, and I'll write that in my little notes to you guys when we do the next yoga. I'll write that we need a chair for it. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a fancy chair, but just kind of like a fold-up chair like we have used. Something that it doesn't even have to be a chair, it could be a desk or a bench, okay? So, but today we're going to be on the ground, and we're just going to sort of do basic movements to reawaken the body, okay? So let's stand up to start. And come back so that you're standing up and you're just kind of getting up off that cross-legged position. And just see how it feels to stand after that. That's good. So when you're ready to, standing in the center of your mat, just do simple things of just having one leg come up and then switch back and forth. And you're just walking in place. You know, have you noticed that when you walk in place, that it's a balancing problem, isn't it? And so as you're walking, and I just want you to kind of get used to this, we're basically just making some heat and opening up the joints a little bit, just to start to walk. And the slower you walk, the harder it is. Can you feel that? People that have more ease in their body and better, easier balance, just start to lift your leg higher. And that's harder. And I want you to try, and you can use your hands out to your sides, just whatever works, to bring one leg up and then the other. And just practicing playing and going as slowly as you can. If I go quickly, it's a little easier, more like marching. And this is good too, it has a different effect. But we're going slowly, and we're trying to put the foot down right where it was. So I just want you to feel that and sort of feel your balance. And now we're going to add opposite arm to opposite leg. So we're just using this like we're going for a walk. A very beautiful long walk. If the balance is too tricky, just remember you can always walk a little faster, and that will make it easier. And if the balance is too easy, go slower still, right? So you can feel what the right speed is, faster, right, or slower, and find just the right rhythm for your body today, right? That's good. So we're just going back and forth, good. And then that's enough, and then just release, and just standing, and just kind of trot in place. Good. And then have your feet right together. Tadasana. And then you're going to take your arms up. Inhale. And behind you, exhale. And then you're going to take your arms back and start to pull them back. And if you can reach your fingers, you're going to interlace your fingers. If you can't reach your fingers, just reach towards them, right? So you can just reach towards or to, or you can even hold a strap. But you'll see which feels right to you. And I'm going to give lots of modifications in my poses so that, because everybody's working from different places. And then mainly you're just breathing now. Inhaling into your shoulders. Exhaling into the chest and belly. Inhale into between the scapula and the neck. And then exhale, release your hands, let them fall. And just let your arms relax by your sides. And standing really upright. Crown of the head is extending, Tadasana. Just close your eyes for a moment. So we're just kind of checking things out. Think of this whole experience as a diagnostic experience. You're just kind of seeing how your body has been from everything that's been happening. Inhale, open the arms back out to the sides. Exhale behind you again and release your fingers and stretch again. You once can think of it. We have our hands behind us like this. You're going to think about if you can reverse all the fingers, so all the fingers flip the other way. So basically, the thumb is going to go switch, and then all the fingers switch too. So you want that behind you if you can, and that makes it harder. You can feel there's a dominant side. It's always a dominant side of the body, right? Breathing into your upper back. Now, from here, drop your hands, let them go. And then from here, you're just going to start to bend your knees. And bring your hands on your knees, looking down. And then cat stretches, standing. So your legs are well bent, hands are on the kneecaps, the elbows are straight. And so from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to inhale, arch the spine, the head looks up, tailbone looks up. Exhale, round the spine, pull the stomach up and in, tuck your chin. Inhale. Arch. Exhale. Round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Curving the spine, really pulling the stomach into the spine, especially if you have back issues. Inhale. Now keep the arch like you have it, And exhale, lay down with your bent legs, over your bent legs with your waist, and just let your hands fall down. Let your head drop down, and just let everything stretch out. So you're just letting your lower back stretch, your hips stretch a little bit, the hamstrings are stretching now. And you're just letting your head hang. Relaxing the neck, relaxing your shoulders. Let everything go. And then bend your knees, or keep them bent, and roll yourself back up really slowly. And when you can see how slowly I'm coming, because I'm really stacking the vertebrae one upon another. Stacking the vertebrae up. The chin's staying down, if you can see. My head is down the whole time, until finally the last thing that happens is that the head comes up and it stretches up. And already I feel a little bit different than when I started. I got a little bit more breath, a little bit more circulation going on now. So good. So we're going to just do one balance pose just to see how it is. We're not going to spend a long time in it or anything. You can even put something next to you like this chair, right? I could use a chair and use it by my side, or a desk or something that's around the piano for sure. I could touch something, and then we're going to just do from here, left leg forward, and then bring it up. And then just let that knee come in gently, and you're just kind of seeing how that's going. Shoulders are back if you can, and then put it down. We're just going to do one today. Just want to kind of try it out. Opposite leg. Now the leg comes tipping forward. And remember, this is a balancing pose too. With just my foot on the ground like this, I'm only balancing just on the toe tip of this foot. So, that's balancing also. So don't feel bad if that's what it needs to be today. Let that be. And if it's easy, take the leg up. Breathing into it, shoulders are back. Try to keep your Tadasana if you can. Good. Good. And then put the leg gently down. Reset it. Feet on the floor. Standing back. Nice. So now we're going to sit down. So hopefully you've got a little pillow somewhere here to use. I've got mine. And we're going to just put it right on our mat. And I'm using a pillow, but you can use a blanket rolled up in all the different ways that we do. You can even sit on blocks, right? So I can use this, or I can use this to sit on. So it's just going to depend on your flexibility. And again, remember today, it's about just finding out how things are. It's a diagnostic. We're seeing how our body is feeling today and what's going on in it. So we're going to start like this, palms forward, inhale, open. Big, wide heart. Exhale, close. I see you. Inhale, open. Stretch. Keep your back really straight. Exhale. Back. Good. Inhale. Nice. Nice form, everybody. I can see so many good spines there. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Stretch back. Arch, really lift the chest. Think of this almost like a back bend. Exhale. Bring it back. Bring your hands to prayer. Touch your thumbs to your heart. Center. Interlace your fingers. Push them out. And up. Inhale. Stretch. Push. Really push, 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 push. Elbows straight. The elbows will love to bend in this because they're tight. And you may not be able to stop that from happening. But you're trying, right, to get that bend out of the elbow, to pull them straight, but then the next part that's hard about this is behind you, right? So sometimes we can get them straight but have them forward, but perhaps you could see if you could bring the arm bones back farther in the joint. Exhale down, nice. Back. Cross your legs the other way. So now we're just getting used to seeing how we've been sitting a lot, too much probably, It's been such a funny time. Inhale, arms out. Now, think of keeping your nose and your navel in line. So we want this straight line here, right? And when we make the rotation, don't think of turning your head or your arms. Think of turning your navel. So my body is turning to the left, just so my nose is still lined up with my navel, and then back to the center. lift your spine up and then the other way. Nose with the navel. So don't be tempted to turn your neck more right now. Just keep it looking straight ahead, kind of with the navel, and don't be tempted to move your arms more. So the arms are staying in place to the shoulders, back to the down and release. We're gonna do that again. So can I show it wrong just so you can kind of see it? So what the temptation is to go more, right? So we get this kind of feeling of you're almost swinging the arms behind you and the head is turning. And what this is everything's keeping in its integrity. And we're just going only as far. So here's my nose with navel still. And I don't keep moving my arms either. They're staying in the plane of the shoulder joint, right? So here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more set. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And center back. Inhale. Exhale. So you're just kind of seeing what's going on. Roll your shoulders all around. And let the elbows be loose, the wrists be loose, the fingers be loose in this so that you're really mobile. Trying to feel what the mobility is. Good. And then from there, you're going to take your legs into an easy straddle. So just nothing, just a really simple straddle. You're not struggling, you're not maxed out. Your back is straight and your legs are straight. And you're just we're only even doing this pose because I don't want to necessarily spend a long time in straddle today because probably it's really tight right now because it's been such a long time, maybe since you've done this or it's your first time or who knows, right? But we want the legs just to get used to lengthening and having weight bearing on them. And also I'm using it mainly to release the knees. It's easy to tense up your knees or let the knees in the joint take the hit, and we always are trying to protect the knees, keeping the knees solid, strengthened, aligned, toe, knee, hip joint, everything always in plane. So really flex your feet so that that will ensure that the quadricep engages and you can actually feel that happen. If the feet are really flexed, and then be careful not to let your feet turn out or in, right? They're just straight. So visually I can see my straight legs is lined up with my kneecap. So the patella and the toe and the hip joint center are all in one plane, really beautifully. And then all you're going to do from here is just gentle, just roll. And breathing into it and just let everything kind of roll inside, but keep your waist long. So it's tempting to kind of squish down. So don't squish down. Think almost like the motion is occurring from the coccyx, meaning the tailbone, like we're top and we're just moving from there. So that limits the movement somewhat and keeps the spine safe for change direction when you're ready. Kind of move with the breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, right? So you're just trying to feel that you're moving with the breath and you're feeling these circles from the coccyx, from the base down here, that you're moving these shapes to release your knees, that you're working. And meanwhile, the whole time, the feet are flexed, quadriceps engaged. Ready? Come back up, cross your legs again. So just bring them back, sitting up straight. Okay, so you're just seeing how that's all going, how your body's feeling now. That little bit to get some life force and energy in your knees, energy in your thighs. And now we're going to do, with our hands on our knees, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to roll. Even though I'm rolling, I'm lengthening. So as I go forward, I'm not squashing the spine or the vertebrae or the waist. And I'm also trying to feel within myself that the whole time I'm going up. So even though I'm turning, I'm really lifting more. And then on the top, when you get to the top, just pause there and go the other way and just feel the hips kind of roll. This is really good for hip tightness. And to just start to ask these legs to open for eventually, if you want to get your hips open better for lotuses and things like that, all the cross-leg positions, This can be really sticky in here. It was for me, that's for sure. And it still even is at times, but I know to do these stretches. Now, from here, you're just gonna walk out and just go right out and just see. Sometimes I like to take a block and put my head on it. Now, if I'm tighter, I'm not gonna be able to do that. If you can show a side view, I'll show that. If I'm too tight, what'll happen is I'm too far away from this block, so it's not gonna really make much difference. But if some of you will find that you can put your forehead down on it just because you're a little bit more free, and you can keep changing the height of this block to even your head on the floor, right? But if your head is on the floor, you some that can do that, you few, don't let your butt come off the ground, right? The hips stay down and the waist lengthens out. Don't be too tempted to go more and more and more. One of the things I teach always is just because you can doesn't mean you should. In these kinds of poses, you want to move with where your body is today. And because you're in your own space, you might find that you can be more sensitive to that, to not over move, right? To let yourself just move where it feels good to you today. Come rolling up, inhale, stretch up. Nice, change the cross of your legs, around, however you like. Be on a little blanket or on the flat on the ground. People that are extremely flexible, you don't really need a blanket underneath of you, right? And the ones that are tighter, the higher the better at first. And that will change, in the course of your yoga. Your hands come onto your knees. So from here, what we want to do is keep our elbows completely straight, so there's no bending. You're not going to bend your elbows, you're going to be completely straight. My fingers are extending. We do cat stretch, seated. So when you're ready to, inhale, arch the spine, and not as far as you can, so don't let your head crack back, right? Your head is just coming with the plane of the curve of the spine. Exhale, round. Tuck your chin, pull your stomach in, don't fall backward. So you don't want to fall backward at all in this. Inhale, arch. Elbows are straight the whole time. My throat softly open. Exhale, breathing. Don't forget to breathe. The breath is more important. Inhale, then the pose is. So if you're just breathing, I'll be happy. Exhale, especially these days. It's all about the breath. Keep your lungs strong, right? Inhale. Exhale, curving, tuck your chin, pull the belly in. Notice how I'm not going back very far. Inhale, I'm arching quite a bit, but I'm not throwing my head back. Exhale, round, not falling backward. Keep your spine, sacrum on the perpendicular. Inhale. Arch and then out this way. Exhale, walk out. And just see how this is. And just let yourself smooth down. Put a little block there if you want. Let yourself stretch out. Let the neck stretch out. And just let everything lengthen. And I like to rock because I am so tight in my hips. Or it's hard to tell that I'm tight in my hips, but I actually was extremely tight, and that muscle memory and tightness that was there is still there. I can feel it. So I'm just always sort of reminding my body, you can be different. No matter how many horses you rode or how many times you fell off or just my genes, right? So I'm just trying to encourage my hips to open and walk out and breathe the whole time. That's nice. Good, roll up, inhale from here. We're just gonna come onto our hands and knees. So come on your hands and knees. And I think I'm gonna face this way for just the beginning anyway. And what you're gonna do is have your palms right under your shoulders pinned back, so that's important. So you take the shoulder bone, this upper bone, and pull it into the back of the joint. Don't let it come slipping forward. So we want that length in the neck, right? We want that length, and the head is just looking down gently, and we're gonna, from here, simply make circles again. This is one of my new favorite things to do, to just warm up the spine. And when I'm doing it, I'm really wiggle-waggling my hips kind of at a different rate than my head. I want to feel that I'm undulating the entire spine. Also, I'm transferring the weight from my hand to my hand to my knee, from my arm to my arm to my hip to my hip, right? So I'm really trying to go deeper and deeper, and I'm letting my hips go back quite a bit as I'm going backward. But I'm staying in that original form. So I'm just staying. That's going to confine it slightly and keep the motions truer. When you're ready to change directions and just whirling through, keep the shoulder bones back. Your arm bone can move, but you're keeping the shoulder away from your ear as you're waggling through these motions of getting your hips to kind of stream and unlock your neck as much as your lower back. So you're just trying to feel, does it feel too fluid? Does it feel too tight? You know, too fluid is a problem too, right? And so good, and then come back to neutralize the spine. Head is in the plane of your spine. The head just looking gently down. And we're going to just do some simple cat stretches. Inhale, arch the spine. Tailbone up, head up. Exhale, rounding, stomach pulls in, head goes down, pelvis comes forward. Inhale. You can do these at your own pace, but what's really important, exhale, is to match the breath to the flow. Inhale. Try not to be heavy on your wrists or on your knees. Exhale. Be light, like you're going to do a handstand, like you're on a trampoline. Inhale. Just stretching and try to feel all those vertebrae moving. Exhale. Stomach pulls in, throat pulls in. Inhale. I had a teacher that used to call this sun. And then exhale. And this was moon. And I love that combination, right? Inhale, sun. Exhale, moon. Inhale, sun. Turn your toes under. Keep your sun. Exhale, dog pose. Now just see what can happen here. You don't have to straighten your legs in this. You can keep them bent, or you like this and let your spine get straight, 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 or you can try to keep them straight and keep your spine straight. Just play with it and see. Keep the elbows extending long. Try to let your neck relax and don't push your head through, right? You really want your head to stay relaxed. So it's not trying to drive the neck. Don't drive the neck. Let your head stay on the plane. Come down on your knees. Sit down on your knees. And just watch me just for a minute. Be in a position that this doesn't hurt. So if this, you can use a block and stuff if it does, and make the block high enough that it doesn't bother your knees. And if nothing's working, just sit some different way. I just want to show you something. If I'm in dog pose, there's a tendency to go like this. You see that? And so in doing that, what I'm doing is I'm driving my neck forward, like in that forward head carriage. And I don't want to do that. I want my head to be on the plane. So if I'm in dog pose, right, like this, and I'm going like this though, see how that's straining in here? And it actually can be destabilizing to your neck a lot. So you want the head to just stay on the plane. So when you're in dog pose, nothing has changed. It's just here. Chin's a little bit tucked, the head is neutral. Ready? Inhale the arms up. Think of that. Down, exhale, hands and knees. We're going to do 4 cat stretches, sun, moon. Inhale, sun. Exhale, moon. Inhale, sun. Exhale, moon. Inhale, sun. So for me, I might be exhale, moon. I love to do long breaths, so I might be going, if it was me just doing it by myself, inhale, sun. I might be doing these breaths much slower. Turn your toes under. Keep your sun position and exhale and sweep the hips up. And just see how it feels as you extend through the back of the legs and just sort of stretching out the calves, opening up the hips, lengthening through the calves and the back of the heel. And now that neck, right? We're trying to keep that neck free. child's pose, right? So just letting yourself completely relax now. Everything's sinking down. Let your neck relax, let your hips relax, let your knees relax, let your shins relax. And you're just a little bit rocking from shin across the shins very gently to release your knees a little bit more. Good. And then onto your hands and knees, come back up. Neutralize your spine so you're straight like a table. And if you can see in the image with me, I'm still, look at my shoulders and my neck. So this is wrong, right? And then I'm moving too much in my tailbone. So I want my shoulders back. I want my chin tucked. And I want to kind of just straighten my back. So my stomach kind of pulls up a little bit in this. So I'm just protecting my back in this position. And the head is just looking gently down now. And I want to feel just as straight as I can, because now I'm going to ask more. I'm going to take left leg out, right arm out. And I want to keep that plane and my knee straight, right? And the knee straight, right? And then really slowly switch. And the slower you go, the better, the harder, right? So you're trying to make that back stay on the plane as you extend one arm and one leg, and then switch the other side as slow as you can do this, balancing, and feel how this is an abdominal thing. And the more that you're level and your spine doesn't move, the more that the stomach is have to switch. One more time if you have it. So just be even. So some of you are going quicker and slower than others. So just find where you've got it equal on both sides, and then come back and sit down again on your feet, or however, like we talked about, however you like. So watch me do this a little bit wrong. Same thing. So here I am, head up, shoulders forward. So that's basically looks like this, right? So we want shoulders down, long swan neck, level neck with the bit. So I take my shoulders back as much as I can, the chin's down. And when I take the leg out and the arm out, I'm doing that at the same rate, right? And so what I want to do is, as they come up and down, I'm doing them together, right? Versus this, right? And just sort of being any old way. I'm trying to control that shape so the arm and the leg are moving synchronistically, right? So we're trying to get that in perfect balance. So when you're ready to, hands and knees, and then here we go, right arm, left leg. And some of you I can see, nice, good Yara, switch. Nice, chin's tucked under, right? So long neck, I see you, Lauren, that looks nice. Good, switch. Remember, you're inhaling as everything's going up, right? Stomach's pulled in. Chin down, Christy, if you can. Yeah, close it, exhale, change. And just moving, Madeline, nice. Back leg straight though, the back leg, straight as it can be. Yeah, switch. Nice. 2 more sets. So that's 4 movements. Good, Jeremiah, keep your hand towards the midline. Good, and breathing the whole time. You all look gorgeous, really gorgeous, and try to make it all with the breath. Nice. Really straighten that back leg. It doesn't want to. Yeah. And when you've done those last 2 sets, then just press back to child's pose, rest. Good, Kathy. Nice. Good arm position. And then just press back, child's pose, relaxing. Good. Just resting. Let your head be on the ground. Let your hands be palms up by your sides, child's pose. Good. So you're trying to always find your core. You know, how do you get to your core? So when you're ready from there, you're going to come back up to your hands and knees. And then from here, cross your ankles, maybe. This may not work, but if it does, what you're going to do is you're going to sit down. If it doesn't work like that, do it a different way. End up with your legs crossed again. You're looking so good. So I've got a little bit of a lift underneath me for me. Let's do, just for fun, a different way of doing cross-legged. Have your knees as wide apart as they can be. So I've got my legs really wide, which means if you can see my feet, my heels are lined up, heel with heel. So I'm a lot of a wider line this way than usual. If you're tighter, it's gonna, it's gonna look like that, and you just You can put blocks underneath of your knees. If you have two, you just put one on either side just to support the knee so it's not floating. But you ones that are a little bit freer, you're just gonna sort of use your hands by your sides, and wherever you are in this, whether it be tight or free, you're just gonna rock a little bit. Now, for me, because I'm freer in this now, though I didn't used to be, I'm kind of just moving my hips around inside the joint. Just kind of letting my body open there. It's almost like butterfly, right? Baddha Konasana. You're just trying to get this space in your hips. And let's change it the other way. So now the other heel's forward. My heels are lined up again, centered there. I keep them like that. And then I'm just gonna roll in there just a little bit. I'm kind of one side, then the other side. And I can feel like one side's tighter, one side's freer, and I'm just noticing that. I'm not trying to change it all in one day. I'm gonna take my time so much through this. Just let it all open. Good. And then good. And then we're gonna release the knees completely by stretching back into that easy straddle. Flex, flex feet. If you have knee issues, and so many people do, it's really important to straighten your knees after you've done lotuses, any versions. And it will just resets the patella so that that kneecap sits level and isn't slipping around, it's sitting straight. And just by doing this or straight in front of you, it will kind of correct, right, that knee alignment. So kind of when in doubt, right? And so a lot of people have knee issues, and so this is important to do. If you have back issues, this is important too. I've got my quadriceps engaged, I've got my feet flexed, and I'm really lifting because I really want to have space between the vertebrae. So, because remember, pain in the spine, and really pain anywhere in the body, is caused by some form of compression. Well, inflammation causes compression, right? Hormone changes cause inflammation that cause compression. So does sugar, so does salt, right? So we're always kind of thinking about that, like how can I pull the joints apart, pull the vertebrae apart muscularly, so that even if my body is changing over time and the bones are literally can dissolve, like osteoporosis, my muscles are holding up my bones rather than my bones holding up my muscles. So when we're young, that's what's happening. But as you get older, you've got to start to work with that changing energy of the body, that you start to really build muscles that support the spine and support the skeleton. So you're just right now just flexing really hard just to release the knee. Good, and then just relax and lean back just slightly and just slide off your whatever you're on, if you're on anything, and just let your knees kind of jiggle out to release any tension in the knees, in the hips. Just relax them, good, and that's good. And then bring it all back for the last time, back onto your little sitting thing if you're on something, into butterfly proper. And I'm rocking because this is like, not one of my favorite poses, but it is so much better than it used to be. And I'm letting it open, and I'm rocking because for me, I'm trying to feel some fluidity in this and not feel so stiff, right? I want to feel like it could open. So I'm just working with what is the condition of my body, and just knowing that, gosh, so many things happen in life where our condition of our body is changing for so many reasons. If you've been gardening for 4 hours in the backyard, your knees are going to have a response to that. Your back is going to have a response to that. Or if you have been sedentary a lot, which a lot of people have been, the body's it's just compressing all the time, and compression causes pain. So we're trying really much to lift the spine out of this, and people think the point of this pose is to get the knees down. That is a thing that can happen. But the really most important thing about this pose is the lift of the spine to keep the integrity of the spine no matter what the legs are doing. So if I'm watching you now this way, if I'm very tight in this, as I used to be, do you see how for me it was very hard to get my back straight because my hips were so tight that my knees weren't able to go down like that. And so my whole body would be just thrown off, my head, my neck would be forward. I mean, I was just very uncomfortable in this position. So what I learned to do in the very beginning when I was tight like this was I would put my hands behind me, and I'd kind of do that. right? So at least my spine was trying to be straight, right? In time, I was able, right, to get the knees down and my spine up. But in the beginning, I just couldn't because of all the tightness in my pelvis. So you're thinking of that in this position. And just for fun, and this is going to make it a little bit harder, so you can skip it if it's too much. You're just going to put your hands next to you, behind you, and just try to lift them up without letting your knees follow, right? Let's start again. Let your hands be down and let them fall, and then you're just going to take your arms up maybe without anything happening in your knees. You know, I had a thought about this as we're doing it, is it wouldn't be a bad idea to do this in front of a mirror. Like at your house, if you've got a slider, you know, you could actually watch yourself in your own form and the form of the image that I'm offering and kind of check yourself on some of this stuff. Wouldn't hurt. Exhale down. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So between though, I'm recorrecting, because if it has happened that I've slumped again because of tightness, then I can fix it, get my back straight, and then here we go. And I'm gonna keep that. I'm not gonna let my spine slump or my knees follow. Exhale. 1 more. Correct. Check. Right? Inhale. Open. Right? And just let the knees, don't think of them going down, think of going out, 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 out from the joint. Good. And exhale. Bring your knees in, curl up, make your hands wrap around your shins. Sit up straight inside that, so you're just kind of lengthening. And then from here now, we're going to lie down on our back on the mat. So just roll yourself down and bring your knees into your chest lightly. And just rocking gently. And just see how it feels, how your back is feeling. Remember, if anything is uncomfortable, just change it, right? There's nothing that you must do. The advantage of this way of doing yoga is you can really keep checking in with yourself. Every breath, just see, now how am I doing? Now how do I feel? Should I stop? Should I continue? Should I take a rest? You know, should I stay longer, right? Sometimes I want to stay a long time in a pose. And then put your feet on the floor next to you, just right down gently, feet hip distance apart. And just take your left leg and cross it over the right so that the ankle is sitting on the right knee and it's flexed. Your arms are going to go out to the sides, and all you're going to do is let the legs crossed like this go to your right all the way till your foot comes to the floor, so that that left foot is actually going to be standing on the ground in the end. Chin's tucked under, so very gentle kind of hip opening, sciatic opening, and quadratus lumborum opening. Come back up, pull that right leg to you, hold either your thigh, your shin, or a strap. And when you catch on, your head will like to pop up, but you're trying to keep your chin tucked under if you can. And I'm just getting this big hip opening, the left foot still flexed. Good, release, change sides. Other leg comes up, stretch your arms out to the sides, and we're flexing that right foot, and then you cross it over and place. So if you see me at all, that my shin bone is straight to the floor, vertical. I'm not letting it fall in or out. I'm just keeping it as straight as it can be. Good. And my foot's on the ground, chin's tucked under, and then come back up gently, pull the left leg to you, and just draw it. Still the right foot's flexed. And just feel that nice stretch of the glute, huge glute stretch, top of the hamstring stretch. Breathing. Good, and then put that leg down. Bring the 2 feet back on the floor, hands by your sides. We're going to do 1 bridge pose. So before you do it, just tuck your chin again. So your neck is long. Arms are streaming out from the shoulders, long towards your heels. And then start to roll the pelvis up. And just come up to whatever much. It doesn't have to be high. You're going to see a real glute action here. You can interlace your fingers underneath if possible. Rest, lift your hips up high. And just breathing into your upper back. Good. Good. Opening up the upper back. Breathe into the upper back. Use your glutes strong. Nice. And we'll talk more about this pose. There's a lot to this pose. That looks nice. And then when you're ready to roll the hips down gently. And when you're all the way down, stretch one leg out and then the other. Savasana. Yay. So that was pretty good. If you have an eye pillow, you can use that now. Just cover your eyes, and if you don't, just close your eyes. And just make sure you're warm enough, you're comfortable. If there's any tension in your knees, keep your knees bent or put a bolster under your knees. If there's any tension, and this is much more important, in your lower back, be sure to have your knees bent or use a bolster. So kind of the same. But I always err on the very conservative side with this, that even if there's a ping, a touch, just something slightly uncomfortable, even the littlest bit, I act like it's bigger than it is, and I support it. And that way, your body can actually recover from whatever's been happening in the movement, because maybe you haven't moved for a while, or you haven't moved like that for a while, or exactly in that shape. And so it's important to really consider what's happening inside your body, and from the experience, from anything we do, if we're just standing in line or walking a lot, or any kind of activity we're doing, that we start to understand that the body is reacting to that in various ways. So how do you be thoughtful to that? And boy, if there's something about yoga, how do you do yoga till you're 90, right? Or 96 like BJ did. She's my hero, right? To be able to stay fit like that in your body all your life long is because you start to get to know your body better and better and better and better. So what I was much more maybe prowess, my physical prowess might have been greater when I was 20, although in my case it wasn't, but a lot of people's that would be true. What I can do now is more than I could when I was 20, and not only more, but better. The way I move, how I move, the carefulness, consideration of my body, and how my body heals when I do something to it, just from life that happens. I know how to take care of it. I know how to heal it. And it's a piece of work, it's not easy to do, but it is doable. And so people that do yoga and have a practice really have different experiences in their body than people that don't, So as you're lying here now, just really, really relax. Just completely let go. Let all the tension out of your shoulders, your back, your knees, the joints. I say that the vertebrae are like joints too. They're just little joints, like the joints in your hand or the joints in your feet, which there are many, right? And there's so many bones in your feet and your hands, and there's so many bones in your spine. And all those individual vertebrae, right? Each one has to relax. Each one. Can you feel that? So where might it be grabbing? Where might there be tension held? And often if you kind of identify places that might not be hurting even, or might be hurting, and then it's very obvious, but if they're not hurting, but they just feel different, they feel stiff or numb, nothing at all, right? That's very interesting when you feel nothing, right? Or if you feel like it's got different temperature, different feeling inside of it, that's where the breath goes, right there, right there. And always curiously wondering, which chakra does this correspond to? Which is an interesting question too, right? If it's the lower back, right, it could be the second chakra, it could be the first chakra. Could be the third chakra. But you can kind of tell, oh, it's definitely second chakra, or wherever it is, because of where the pain tends to be, or where the stiffness is, or the stickiness between the joints. So if you think of the joints like beautiful elements, right, like pearls on a string, that each one independently is free and moving with the others, rather than these 5 are stuck together and these 2 are stuck together and going in a different direction. You want this feeling of a river flow through the spine. So the breath starts to be important. So let your breath take you deeper and deeper and deeper, and feel that river flow begin. Feel that river flow of energy, right? Light, energy, life force, chi. This beautiful flow. And the breath will help, right? The breath acts like a little accelerator. I think of my breath like a scout, right? It's out ahead, it's out there ahead, checking things out, feeling the lay of the land, right? Hearing where the horses are. You can, if you put your ear to the ground, you can hear how far a horse is away from you, right? You start to get the lay of the land. So the breath is that. The breath is the teacher. The breath is the lantern bearer, right? That guides the way. And so the breath is taking you in and in and in. Because there's a lot to heal right now, isn't there? Just there's a lot to heal. Psychic stress, right? And just let it go. Through the exhalation, let it go. For at least a minute, right? Just let yourself at least have a minute to completely let go. And get free. Relax your eyes. When the eyes relax, the mind relaxes. When the eyes are tense, the mind is tense. Relax your eyes. Relax the back of your neck in relationship to the lumbar spine, the lower back. Feel these 2 places balanced to each other. The curve of the neck to the curve of the lower back. Harmonious. Because they work in tandem, yes? And the breath keeps taking you deeper to let yourself really rest. And in that stillness, heal your psychic body. Heal your energetic body. Heal your physical body. Heal your emotional body. Heal your mental body. Heal yourself at every plane, at every level. Rest. Rest deeply. Rest. And after a while, as you find your beautiful, beautiful breath again, and feel that gentle rise of the belly as you inhale and drop as you exhale. Until it starts to feel natural. Natural. Really and truly in your own time. To eventually transition out of this meditation when you're ready to. Eventually coming into a sitting position with your eyes closed. And once you're up, if you're up, just take a moment to reset the spine consciously and the chakras therein. And feeling this connection all the way up, up, up. And just still with your eyes closed, just take a moment. Remembering your gentle intention you set before we began. Re-intend it. Receive it. Receive your intention. As you get ready to go back out into your day, into the life. Good. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this class. We'll be meeting again next Monday. I'd love to hear feedback from you. How you did, how it went, and maybe think about even better ways to set it up so that you can maximize the experience, and that's what I'll be doing too. And it's really been a joy to do yoga with you. So we'll see you next time.